All right, thank you very much, Joel. Let's pick up here. Eskom has to be fixed, but will the utility use the 21-day lockdown to fix its continuously failing power plants? Also, we see any load shedding recently. If we do see any load shedding recently, maybe let me just put that perfectly. If we do see any of load shedding recently, we should ask the question, why? Well, Eskom spokesperson Sikonati Manjanja joins us now to answer to some of these critical questions. He joins us via Skype. Mr. Manjanja, thank you very much for waking up with us. Does the 21-day lockdown represent an opportunity for you as Eskom to do as much maintenance work as is possible?
That's ideally, the answer should be yes, but practically no. The reason is you need equipment that should have been ordered way ahead of time, and that should have been on the site, and nobody, of course, knew 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago that we would have a shutdown. Secondly, you need people to do the maintenance. At this point in time, what will be continuing to work at Eskom as normal is supply of coal, which is all critical service, and indeed the generation of electricity. We will continue fixing plant with the equipment that we have on the site, and indeed our suppliers will remain open. But to do this kind of philosophy services that you're talking about, you need to have prepared for that months up front. Yeah. And we have been telling the people of South Africa that we are working to make sure that by July, August next year, we are done with this philosophy maintenance.
Let me just jump in there, if you don't mind, Mr. Manjanja. Some listening to you right now, you're talking about machines that need to be brought in. You're talking about personnel, the actual people that have got to do this kind of work. That talks to a lack of planning.
Not at all, Claudia. We have been putting in plan and doing the contracts with the original equipment manufacturers that we have been talking. When we are telling the people of South Africa that we will be doing this philosophy maintenance and making sure that over the next 18 months we will not have this problem of load shedding again. But the starting point is that you need to put the plans in place, the contracts, and there's the thing called Public Finance Management Act. You don't just get up and find the nearest person. You have to do these competitive bids, and we now are in that process where the last contracts are being signed by the end of this month, and the people then are starting to work on the plant. The problem with the lockdown is that the skills that you may need from outside the country are from those countries that have been banned. You cannot do business with them at this point.
Makes sense. All right. Mr. Manjanja, the big users of electricity, mainly companies, they're going to shut down for 21 days. Is it safe to assume that we're not going to see any load shedding during this time?
No one can give you that guarantee that you won't see any load shedding. What you will notice, Claudia, is that we have not had load shedding over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And if you notice the statistics that we publish daily, we have managed to bring down the unplanned outages or breakdowns to an average of 11,000 megawatts. That's what the work the teams have been doing. And as demand falls, which we hope it will fall because of the drop with work being closed down, we hope indeed that there will not be load shedding. But nobody can give you that guarantee and say there will be no load shedding.
Very quickly for me, Mr. Manjanja, on Monday you put out you've put out a tender, basically, calling for surplus electricity wherever you can source it. That immediately, in my head, indicates that in the short term, Eskom is unable to meet demand. Are you saying that that actually is a possibility, even with the shutdown?
Only the first thing to notice is that when the big users of electricity knock off or send their workers home, there indeed should be a drop in demand. So in the foreseeable future, at least during the period of the lockdown, we do not expect to have load shedding. We hope to continue as we have been doing at the moment. But the reality is that our plant remains unreliable and indeed vulnerable. That will not change during these past 4 weeks or the next 3 weeks. The reality is we are working with very old systems that cannot be relied upon heavily. That is our reality, and we've been telling the people of South Africa to remember this and to do what they can to help us generate electricity. It's unfortunately not a switch on, switch off thing.
Mr. Mantshantsha, I have to tell you, it's not music to my ears, and I'm sure many of the viewers. Thank you very much for your time. Imagine being in a lockdown without electricity. Ish.